What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Douyu Cup. It's going to be the second series of the day. We got Newbee.Y, or I guess fourth series, since it's the last one of the series of Chinese games. Either way, Newbee.Y going to be going up against TerrorBlade, and just like last time, Newbee.Y, well, just like last time, we have a vast favorite and an underdog. Newbee.Y going to be the vast favorite, and TerrorBlade going to be the underdog. TerrorBlade have yet to actually win a series, have yet to actually win a game. So here's hoping that we have an impressive showing from them. It's never too late to get a draw or even a win. I'm Mikelorus, going to be one of your casters for today. Blakadder is here as well. And it looks like this opening, with the bans at least, looking a lot more normal than the last series.
Yes, there's no Mystery Lycan ban. Instead, there's no Shadow Fiend, Undying, Quap, or Tusk, leading into a first pick, Leshrac, followed by TerrorBlade getting a Storm Spirit and a Shaker, with a Rubik for Newbee.Y.
So after watching TerrorBlade for a couple of games, they're definitely big fans of the Storm Spirit, which is fine. It has weaknesses, of course, anti-mage, but you put him in the mid lane with a little bit of Shaker support. Versus Leshrac, it's not exactly going to be the greatest of times, but you at least stand a chance there, or you can put him in the side lane, and that's probably the safest way you could actually execute that lane.
Well, I'm just trying to consider the options here. I mean, Newbee.Y, if memory serves from the tournaments we've recently cast, that would be a mid Leshrac, most likely played by Melody, I want to say. TerrorBlade I've not cast before. I think this is their first tournament that we've cast with them in it.
They were in the ESCC for a little bit, I think.
It wasn't in the last of it, though, that I was casting.
Yeah, they didn't really do great.
They're going to get the Storm, which will most likely go mid against Lesh, and that's a matchup I tend to put on the side of Leshrac. Then you've got the Earthshaker going to be roaming support versus Rubik, who's going to be in that same role. And when you consider these supports up against each other, I'd put the favour towards Rubik just for the ability to steal Fisher. But of course, matching supports versus each other really doesn't give you much in terms of true statistics or math, considering you've got to keep all 5 heroes in mind.
I would say the openings are pretty much even across the board. Storm Spirit, what he lacks in lane control, makes up for an initiation down the line, so Newbee.Y definitely should be considering that one. I was going to say Clockwork would have been great for them, and it still is if it weren't banned. Clockwork and Gyrocopter partnered up with Rubik, certainly a very dangerous combo that Newbee.Y are not going to get their hands on. So as far as initiating fights, they're going to have to grab a fast Blink Dagger on someone or take a little bit of a roundabout way of doing it. Otherwise, Storm Spirit to jump in is generally going to be how these fights are actually started. You could also kind of avoid that by just crushing the Storm Spirit in lane, and with a Leshrac potential matchup there, it is very, very possible that happens.
Indeed it is, and we get a Lina for the TerrorBlades, so with that, you've got Lina, Earthshaker. We've seen this twice today so far, one time Lina being as a support, one time Lina being a core. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, that's... yeah.
That's right. To which I have a lot of faith in this combination. I also have my doubts. Considering you're up against a Lesh and a Rubik who can chain their stuns so well, and the fact that at least early game I consider all 3 of these heroes on the TerrorBlade lineup to be incredibly squishy, especially now that a Spirit Breaker gets involved. We've seen a Spirit Breaker already today, and it did quite a considerable amount of work. I mean, Lina going to be quite susceptible to it.
Yeah, the good thing about Lina Earthshaker, aside from the fact that it's just one stun into another stun, so you get the chain there, is the fact that they both protect each other really well, and that's what we saw in the second... I don't remember. We saw it in one of those games where Lina and Earthshaker were just bouncing off each other. I think it was the first game. The problem is, as you said, they're both soft, so if they're not immediately there protecting each other, someone like a Spirit Breaker can get in and cause some serious damage to either one of those heroes. Similarly, Rubik +1, not sure who that +1 is going to be yet. Would have been a pretty good pick if they managed to get their hands on a Gyrocopter, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. They could tear up these heroes if they're too far away, if they get stunned before they can get their stuns out or something like that. Then Newbee.Y can just run away with that aggressive play. So TerrorBlade really has to be careful with their position. They're going to grab a Phantom Lancer, and I think this is a pretty decent way to go. Put Phantom Lancer, Lina, Shaker in the safe lane. It's going to cost Storm Spirit a lot since he isn't going to go into that safe lane, but I don't know. Maybe they could squeak out some sort of farm on Storm Spirit.
Whoa, what? Ember?
Why are you hating on Ember, dude? It's
You
not the
realize...
best here since there's a ton of CC on the other end, but I like myself some Ember.
Okay. I can understand it. I can understand it from a casting perspective. You like to see the Ember. Problem with the Ember, his win
not good
rate
here.
isn't exactly stellar this patch. It doesn't really suit him. Sure, Phantom Lancer, cleave all the illusions. Problem, Laguna, Earthshaker, Storm Spirit. I'm unsure. We saw Newbee.Y do this at the SCC in the final day, and it got crushed.
I think, like, for Ember Spirit, I don't think he's really, like... He's a certainly very powerful hero if you can get all the pieces together, but up against more CC, Ember Spirit therefore gets a lot worse. And TerrorBlade do have quite a bit already. So, and well, now even more with the Dragon Knight. So, this Ember Spirit, this isn't a game for him. I do think that Ember Spirit is a sleeper hero. I think that he has a lot of power that just because the heroes that are popular right now, Ember Spirit gets a lot worse. But if you have like a team with Storm Spirit or Queen of Pain, Shadow Fiend, and then you grab an Ember Spirit, things can go really well, but just not in this game. So Newbee.Y, this Ember Spirit, I don't really see getting terribly off the ground. The good thing about this hero in this particular game is that they can afford now to put the Ember Spirit in the mid lane versus Storm, have a relatively even laning phase there, or versus DK, have a relatively even laning stage there, and then free this Leshrac up to go into a side lane and try to apply pressure.
Well, if they can apply pressure, yeah, sure. But I don't know. I have my doubts. This has been a day where underdogs can bring some surprising turn of events. So part of me wants to say, I'm going to put my money on TerrorBlade for this one. And I have no idea what the percentage chance is on the betting sides, but I look at the draft and I think, yeah, this is a little bit better for Newbee, with the exception of the Leshrac up against TerrorBlade.
Yeah, I mean, the lanes in TerrorBlade are going to be a little bit awkward. Like, you look at their draft and you figure, okay, well, I have no idea who's going to be going towards that off lane. An offensive tri-lane will be mediocre, so they probably have to go for some weird dual lane setup. But outside of those laning choices, I think they probably have a slightly better draft than Newbee, just because this Ember Spirit seems like it's a significant weakness in Newbee's lineup. And with the Dazzle, it'll help Piao go a little bit more ham on this hero, which is sometimes what you want to be doing. But yeah, I don't really know if the lanes are going to work out for TerrorBlade as they really want. Regardless of that fact, guys, TerrorBlade are going to be on the Radiant side. We got Chishi on the Phantom Lancer. These guys don't have the same names as when I last casted them, which was just yesterday, I think. So I have no idea what's going on. Sox is on the Dragon Knight, and we got Chiren on the Storm Spirit, and Lina Shaker are going to be appearing as themselves.
Well, I would introduce the other team, but I currently have lagged out completely.
Right.
Just go for it. I'll fix this.
Okay, we got SC playing the Leshrac, should be heading towards the mid lane. Piao is going to be on the farming Ember Spirit. We got Melody Lovers on the supporting Dazzle with Mur on the Rubik. And of course on the bottom lane, it's going to be Douyu on the Spirit Breaker. We have seen Spirit Breaker played by Douyu before and has been really mean if I recall correctly. We also have Chishi running into a whole pile of heroes. You don't want to be doing that as Phantom Lancer. Bounty Rune, simply not worth it. But with the lane setup that TerrorBlade have right now, it seems like they're going to have a solo off-lane Lancer. He has a Mango, and I don't think I've ever seen a farming hero grab a Mango.
A farming hero with a Mango.
I've never seen it. Who
Nor
knows?
have I. The health regen you get from it isn't really that justifiable, unless you predict you're going to need the burst mana regen, but that's quite a... That's quite a prediction that I don't see being made. And I'm actually having trouble reconnecting, so...
We paused also. Apparently everyone's having trouble now.
I see.
So it's not just you. Yay.
Well, Carly!
Oh, God. This is hopefully not going to result into too many issues. But, yeah. At least you're not missing anything, right? We have... I guess we could take another look at these lanes. GK is going to be going mid up against, well, Newbee not going to do the greedy thing. They're going to put the Leshrac there and just have him rock the DK. This is a very, very Leshrac favored lineup. Even with an Earthshaker kind of hanging around, the power of Fissure into Dragon Tail isn't really that high, simply because Dragon Tail doesn't do that much damage.
No, I believe it does 50 at level 1.
Oh, 25.
25, scaling up to 100.
Yeah, 50 level
Yeah,
2.
it was either 50 or 25.
Oh, courier. Oh no, this Rubik has boots. This courier, deliver the bottle. Got it. So it's not completely disastrous for TerrorBlade. It's just pretty bad. Are you back in?
No, I dropped again. Like,
okay. Well, the courier just died, got sniped by the Rubik, and DK already is in a lane where he's not going to have a great time. He absolutely needs this bottle mana regen to keep spamming out this Breathe Fire. Otherwise, CS is going to be really hard to come by. And at this point, top lane, now that it has 3 heroes from Newbee, this bottom rune should be, the top rune should be grabbed by them. So DK has to go bottom and hope that he hits a lucky rune draw. But even then, Douyu can very quickly go towards that rune and try to snag both. So I don't really know if this DK is going to get that much done at all. Gets hit with a random Split Earth. SC just going to apply quite a bit of damage to this DK for free. And DK is very quickly running out of bottle charges. So this Leshrac, though he does have his bottle coming out as well, he'll actually be able to ferry it back to the base if need be. And I don't even know if that's necessary for him, since he will have such a great time and he won't actually take many hits from the DK, even with the Breathe Fire factored in. Douyu is on the bottom lane, and he's going to try to mess with the Lina and Earthtaker as best he can, but the Spirit Breaker definitely has to be kind of careful up against these 2 stuns. If he gets caught by one, he definitely gets caught by the other, and it looks like he'll take the very long way back to his tower. And, well, he's going to race for the bounty rune. Charge going to be used. Not going to work out. Now he's up against 2 stunners. He's in a pretty bad position as well. He's going to run to the north where Sox is there. No Dragon Tail. Douyu going to cancel a Clarity. Here comes SC with a haste rune, actually. This is where Leshrac gets ridiculous. Lightning going to strike once. He's going to get hit with the LSA. Charge, though, onto the Earth Shaker. Where's the Storm Spirit? Needs to help out the Shaker. Otherwise, this will be First Blood. Split Earth is there, and it will be First Blood regardless. That's Lightning Storm to draw it. And haste rune on the Leshrac. Any other rune, and he just doesn't participate in that fight, but worked out pretty well. Luck of the draw, favoring Newbee for right now, and, well, Shaker gonna drop. It's gonna be Leshrac to get even further ahead. Not like he needed the help.
Well, the haste rune, haste rune seems to be the most polarizing rune, even so far above double damage in my mind, especially in the early game. I'm still not being able to get in, so.
Fix your shit, dude. So bad internet.
Perfect world, imperfect servers. God damn it! If I had a lightning
up towards top,
Lancer.
Lancer's in some shit right now. He has 1 point Doppelganger, waiting to the last possible second to use it. He will use it, yes, but is it actually going to help? Because he's still burning. That's a roasted Phantom Lancer right there. Here comes Earthshaker, walling off Piao. And now Piao's going to have to go into the trees. Melody Lover's a little bit too far away to grave him. He's close enough to heal him. It's only level 1 heal. Piao is so dead right now. He's fighting to his last breath, but he will breathe his last. Shaker, that's so worth the TP. Trading the kill 1 for 1 up on the top lane, and Shaker getting the kill as well. That's a pretty good exchange for Newbee, and that's Phantom Lancer, I guess, providing his value in that he's sometimes difficult to kill, but he dies also, and that's not exactly good times. In the meantime, bottom lane, Douyu getting into a fight once again, but Storm Spirit doesn't really want to be fighting the Spirit Breaker at this point. Doesn't have a ton of damage. He just wants level 6, and pretty much nothing but that level 6.
Denied.
And in the meantime, we got mid lane. SC still locking down this mid lane pretty hard, although Sock's doing a lot better than I really thought he would. Not taking that many hits from this Lightning Storm, and now his Courier has respawned, so he'll be able to ferry his bottle back and forth as need be. Leshrac is not going to get much help from this mid lane simply because he's not under any pressure, but that also means that the DK is going to be getting a free time as far as getting his experience up. He's level 3 in the Breathe Fire already. Dragon Form is just a hop, skip, and jump away. And once that happens, should Leshrac grab another haste rune or rotate into another lane for whatever reason, it's going to be the tower to, at the very least, take a lot of damage. Up towards top, we got another jump in. Chi-Chi's going to get lifted up there and going to change their mind, go for the Shaker instead. He cannot jump out of those chains, but it looks like with the Fissure disengaged, Piao will be forced back for right now. But up towards top, Phantom Lancer getting quite a few levels, actually. A lot more than I expected. Not a ton of farm, though. And a Phantom Lancer with not a lot of farm is kind of a sad hero.
No, it is quite an unhappy hero. What item does he appear to be going for? Are we going to be seeing the Aquila drums into diff, or are we going to be seeing a variant?
Well, he's got boots. So,
I see.
Probably, I want to say just, you gotta go for, like, Power Tread's drums into Diffusal Blade, because you are working on a budget. Bottom lane, though, Chiren's going to get caught with a charge and Leshrac's arrival. And, well, there's someone holding down the mid lane, so Sox can't freely push that one in. So it's a free kill on the Storm Spirit down towards bottom. But, yeah, it's going to be a pretty easy one. SC is going to get pretty far ahead off of these kills. And also, Douyu He's level 5, pushing level 6 as well. Once he grabs Nether Strike, Shaker and Lina have got to be careful, because Spirit Breaker at that point is in 100 to 0 territory, assuming he has the mana, of course.
I've just loaded back in, but everything's frozen, and I just saw a global dragon slave. What the fuck?
Well, that sounds interesting. You should comment on that. Unfortunately, we can't switch cameras, which would have been pretty cool. Oh, Chishi has no more mana up towards top. Luckily for him, the Ember Spirit doesn't have any mana either. 10 mana there would have been the difference, I think, between a kill and, well, not getting a kill. We do have double Arc Boots, though, picked up from Newbee, so Piao's mana pool going to be filled up pretty consistently for the duration of this game. Still have yet to see an aggressive charge from Uwe into any sort of other lane. Once he grabs level 6, he'll be a lot more inclined to do that. Socks, he's going to dodge death in the mid lane for right now, or at least dodge the Split Earth. But right now, Newbee just going to get their levels up. And with an Ember Spirit on your side, I don't really think they're in a terribly huge rush. They would be in a little bit more of a rush if Phantom Lancer was getting any sort of farm, but that's just not the case right now. Piao can get into a man fight with Chishi, just trade hits, because he has a bottle, first of all, and he's getting a lot more farm than the Lancers. And a late game Ember Spirit is really good up against a late game Lancer.
Yeah, the Cleave will be able to clear all those illusions and do some catastrophic levels of damage if we get to that stage of this game.
Well, we'll see if he actually gets enough farm to actually do that. He's having a kind of tough time trading hits up towards top, as TerrorBlade have switched their lanes to a full-on dual lane. Phantom Lancer and Earthshaker up towards top, leaving Yui a little bit more space. Now Shaker is level 6, so ideally for Newbee, they would like to go for a charge on the DK, try to kill him off. It's a little bit of a tough sell. They'll settle for a fight up towards top, where Chi-Chi's going to have to doppelgang away from the shielded Ember Spirit. He's going to try to get into a corner. It looks like he will slip around, but he will get caught with the Dragon Tail. Lance is there as well. He's going to get graved up. Heal is available as well. Piao needs some help right now. It's going to be SC and Mer both coming in. Piao is going to die for sure right now, but at what cost for TerrorBlade? They lose the Shaker, and Dragonite stuck in a corner, literally has nowhere to run. He's going to put up some sort of fight. Lifted up, that actually might give him an escape path. Here comes the Lina. Sox is still swinging, and no one else from Newbee actually has any damage. That telekinesis just got this Dragonite out of there, living at 30 HP. SC, he's going to get healed up a little bit more, and he will survive the last Dragon Slave. In the meantime, Storm Spirit dropping super, super low to Uwe. Nether Strike was used for that one. And TerrorBlade, they walk away with a 1-1 trade. Shaker forced to buy back, which is a little bit unfortunate, but that telekinesis just bought Sox his way out of there, which is kind of a mistake, I think, from You gotta remember that telekinesis does break trees, and Dragonite, if he wasn't lifted up there, would have had nowhere to run. No phase boots to get through that. And, well, that's gonna, of course, lead the Dragonite to survive. At the very least, Dragonite doesn't have the Elder Dragon form anymore, so for Newbee, they don't have to worry about any of their towers dying, at least not for now. They also have a charge coming in from the south. Sock's not too healthy right now. There's a Shaker here. If he doesn't get his fissure off, it's just gonna be all over the DK, but he will cancel it, Yui, and massively force a TP coming in from the Storm Spirit. He's maybe looking for this Leshrac. Still there's enough mana for a fissure, but Yui now grabs a haste rune, at least secures a haste rune for his team. It's going to be him grabbing it, in fact, and he's on the roam. Even Spirit Breaker at this point, level 7 versus level 6 Storm Spirit, that's not a good place for Storm Spirit to be in. Chi-Chi does walk right over an Observer Ward. And
Success!
You're back in?
I'm back!
I don't believe you.
No, I'm back. I can see a bloody Rubik running away from illusion. Oh,
sure, okay, I believe you now.
Apologies, Mike. Apologies.
It's fine. I was doing better without you anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Pew pew, shots fired all day long. But up
Good
towards
God.
top, we actually have an aggressive play brewing for this Phantom Lancer. Piao just going to look to dodge any nukes he can. He's going to get to the other side of the Lina. LSA, Laguna Blade, Piao dropping really low, looking for the Lina kill. Will be forced to duck out of there, however, lift up, and Chi-Chi going to get stunned by his own illusion. That's going to kill off the Lancer. That is not the result that I expected from that engagement, but it's a pretty good result from Newbee. In fact, the ideal result, and also Sox over in mid is being charged. He has no Dragon Tail, so this charge is going to land. Nether Strike available, should just outright kill off the DK, if not just for the right clicks. They'll kill him off the old-fashioned way. SC, though, gonna have to deal with the Storm Spirit. Will drop. Nether Strike gonna get the Spirit Breaker out of tower range, snag the Storm Spirit on his way out as well, giving a double kill to Uwe at the exchange of the Leshrac. A really good trade overall for Newbee, all things considered, especially since Piao does not die on the top lane.
Well, considering all of the above, you got to consider, well, no, TerrorBlade's actually going to keep trading with Piao on this top lane, can continue harassing with those Phantom Lancers. Now, I got to consider this. Ember's actually going to drop dead to the Echo Slam, which is starting to lag again. Great. I got to consider if this Ember keeps getting picked off, it's going to be quite advantageous for TerrorBlade. If they can manage to keep this Ember down and get some towers, maybe look to continue farming up Chishi on this Phantom Lancer, that can work out to their advantage quite heavily. But we need to see some form of item progression from this Phantom sooner rather than later. Ideally, say the drum, as we mentioned earlier. Aquila wouldn't be a bad thing, and it seems it's going to be an Aquila that he's got in the stash right now. And he'll just continue to force this lane a bit. We get double TP in to defend this. Piao looks to have some form of ability to defend this. And really, I was expecting maybe an aggressive jump at Chishi, but the Remnants, he doesn't really want to throw them out that aggressively, it seems.
I think this top lane is just going a little bit more poorly for Newbee than it really should be, simply because they are underestimating how survivable this Phantom Lancer is. You just wait till his Searing Chains has been used, doppelgang straight out of it, that does dispel the chains, so that's level 2 of a skill down the tubes, in exchange for just a level 1 of skill plus 50 mana, so Piao definitely playing a little bit too aggressively, and now he's going to be on the receiving end of a giant smoke gank. Fissure into Laguna Blade LSA, and Piao is just dead. He has to get away with his Remnant right now, but there's so many stuns here. He's going to get 100 to 0 very easily. That's Piao down, and Yui, he's going to have to cancel his charge as well. This Ember Spirit's not having a great time, and fortunately for Newbee, they have two other heroes in the Spirit Breaker Strak who are having a really great time, but an Ember Spirit with no farm is such a depressingly bad hero.
Yeah, it is, especially when he can get stun locked completely, and you consider stuns. TerrorBlade have all of the stuns in the world, and they have the easier ability at bringing down towers. That tier 1 on the top lane, dead. And now the defense of this mid-tier 1 is going to be the order of business. Fish are going to fly out, stun onto 2, Laguna and a Dragon Slave. That's a dead Rubik, followed by a Dazzle. There's no way to survive that, but now, well, they're going to look to try to bring down the Spirit Breaker. If they can manage to get the Nether Strike off, that's at least going to get a kill on the Earthshaker, but still, one right-click brings down the Breaker. Now, however, you do have SCC still lurking around, but he can't really do anything on this Lestrak at this point. He's going to be forced to back up.
He landed a 3-man split Earth, and he landed a lot of lightning as well, but just not enough there because Newbee got initiated upon with that Shaker, that random LSA combo onto the Rubik, Storm Spirit jumping in, assassinating the backline as well. So Newbee's backline's still very fragile, and if Dazzle can't get his Grave out, then he's not exactly an impressive hero. Needs to get that Grave out, but against so many stuns, super difficult to actually have that happen. Newbee, yeah, I mean, they really can't afford to let this Ember Spirit join those fights, although they would love to have him farmed enough with a drum or something like that to start fighting, get a couple of kills, and accelerate into a Battle Fury. But right now, the rest of Newbee, they have to make sure to get kills without dying. Like, even trades at this point, I'm not really sure are great for them, since Storm Spirit and DK will be involved in that in some way, and even Shaker, to a lesser extent, has quite a lot of money to go for his Blink Dagger. Trades, I'm not sure, are really going to help them out that much. However, they do see Chishi in their sights up towards top. No one's teleporting up to this Phantom Lancer just yet. They're just going to rely on the shield to burn him down. He's got a doppelgang eventually. He's going to wait to the last second, but he's still going to burn. Here comes 1 TP. It sucks. Dragon Tail's there on Ember Spirit. He has to jump out, though. He's going to be A-OK. Melody Lovers is going to be fine as well. It's a pretty deep dive, but it's unpunished from Newbee.
Yeah, that was a very late TP, and it was an even later double walk. That's actually quite odd, considering, and even then it felt like a very short-range double walk, considering he was still in melee range after it. But now we get a Midas for the Spirit Breaker of Ivy. How do you pronounce this, by the way? Because Hefla pronounces it Ivy.
I don't know if that's an L or an I, but I don't know.
Ivy Casey said Louis, because I think it's an L, but Hefla calls him Ivy.
Well, that's just wrong. That's because
I know. It's Hefla, what do you expect? Gold for me. Still, with him having a Midas, this is at least going to give him a good amount of gold and level acceleration, most importantly. So you'll get those points up into Empowering Haste as soon as possible, which is good for him and his entire team. And from here on in, we're just looking to gank. So what can we find with this rotation? Another smoke used, of course, and on the flip side of the coin, we have a smoke popped by TerrorBlade as well. They're lurking in this middle lane, up into the enemy jungle, so it's a case of ships in the night. In fact, it'll be Newbee most likely to find the first target, and they're going to go straight on the socks, charging the DK. DK gets his Dragon Form off, but now in comes the support. Do we get the stuns to drop? Yes, we do. That's a stun on the 2 in the back line. That's awesome. As well as the Echo Slam. They're going to try to bring down the Spirit Breaker, but they can't quite manage to finish it. SCC going to be going to town, though, with that Leshrac, and manages to get the kill off onto the Lina, as well as Piao rotating in and getting the Earthshaker. 2-0 in favor of Newbee.
And that was the ideal situation there for TerrorBlade as well. They get the Spirit Breaker as he charges super far ahead of the rest of the team. The rest of the team also stalled out because of that fissure. Yet despite that, the Spirit Breaker is so freaking tanky right now, and of course had the heal from the Dazzle and the Grave as well, that he was able to slip away. And the rest of TerrorBlade, they were stalled up in the back lines, but they weren't killed. They weren't taking any damage, which weren't contributing any damage either. Also, the fact that Newbee rejoined that fight with the Ember Spirit and the Phantom Lancer did not arrive to that fight made it ultimately a 5v4 for Newbee. So they just had more heroes there. Their only vulnerable hero, that Spirit Breaker, wasn't punished enough, and he was able to escape. And it did cost TerrorBlade quite a bit after that. So it's a successful gank from Newbee, and I thought that was actually going to be really bad for Newbee since they were trying to go for a DK, which is not an easy kill, especially when you have Spirit Breaker charged with doing most of the damage, and all of TerrorBlade right, in arm's reach of that DK to help out. But still, Newbee get away with a pretty good fight, and I think lots of the credit, if not all of it, has to go towards that Dazzle.
Well, the Dazzle in that case, yeah, the Shallow Graves have just been on point. You have no counter to Shallow Grave for TerrorBlade, which is one of the biggest problems they face in this game. They can't stop it. If the Shallow Grave goes off, they have to switch targets, and that normally will mean a low health player survives for Newbee, which is not what TerrorBlade want at all. Speaking of TerrorBlade, they're poking and prodding at Louis up on that Spirit Breaker, which, well, I don't see being an easy kill by any stretch of the imagination.
Even with the entirety of TV beating on the Spirit Breaker, he can slip out of there. He's going to get a lot of levels as well. The strength growth for Spirit Breaker, not exactly stellar, but hey, with this Midas, he's going to be getting a hell of a lot of cash. And as I said before, Spirit Breaker actually not an irrelevant hero with the attack speed of Midas. Most heroes, they just get Midas for golden experience, but Spirit Breaker plus attack speed, that actually can add up if you roll a couple more 17%. So Newbee are in a pretty good position just to chill. They're buying a lot of space for this Ember Spirit to get a couple of items up. Has his drums completed after having pretty much no item progression for the first couple of minutes of this game. And now he actually can look towards Battle Fury, and I don't see a reason why he shouldn't go for that build this game, especially up against Lancer.
No, we're going to see Cleave build. Cleave crit is what I expect. Probably one Battle Fury into Crystallis/Daedalus, maybe into a second Battle Fury. That at least makes the most logical sense. And you've got to consider what can Phantom Lancer really do to stop that. I doubt he can do anything. As bottom line, we might see some rotations down. They need to kill off something on the Newbee lineup. Otherwise, TerrorBlade are just going to keep falling behind further and further, especially when they're walking their Lina back like that. They're actually going to sack the tier 1. They're going to TP up to the top lane instead, where they're going to find nothing. This just feels very uncoordinated right now.
Yeah, I can understand if they were going towards the mid lane, since DK was already there with his ultimate popped, doing some burn damage with the poison, but they make no defense of the tier 1 tower. I don't think they could have. But the TPs on the top lane, they don't do anything, and it's not even like they're setting up for something down the line. There's nothing actually up there that they could take. The heroes that they have up in the top lane are not heroes strong enough to go for a push, and now Sox in the mid lane is going to get charged. This charge is going to be helped out with a Searing Chains, although Shaker is here to present a wall. Yeah, he's going to cancel that one from Uwe, and Piao now really overshooting. He's going to be all alone right now. Another strike going to bail him out a little bit. Chiron dropping really low really quickly, but here comes Earthshaker. Has an Echo Slam available, but now he's the target of aggression right now. Gets hit with the Split Earth. No 70% just yet. Looking for the Split Earth. Won't quite find it. And Newbee collect one kill, jumping forward with a lot of spirits. Going to take out the Lina. That's a 2 kill for TerrorBlade, and they just all kind of scatter to the wind. That was really, really awkward from TerrorBlade. I just feel like their movement is not on the level of Newbee's.
No, it's not. They're very uncoordinated with their TP locations. They're uncoordinated with their movement in fights. This seems just like Newbee running rampant, which, well, they aren't even. When I say they aren't even being lucky, what I mean is they aren't even getting the 17%. They don't even need the 17% on the Spirit Breaker. This just feels one-sided.
And that's kind of what we've been seeing from TerrorBlade as far as their history in the tournament. Oh, Shishi gonna get lifted up, and Fissure to Split Earth, everything in the book. I didn't even notice that Rubik stole that Fissure. That's, again, what you want to steal every single time as the Rubik, and that's a Phantom Lancer down. This guy is not going to be relevant in this game, I feel. Lancer doesn't really have the comeback mechanics of, say, in like an off-lane Nature's Prophet. He doesn't have the outright contribution of an off-lane Clockwork. I don't even know what he does have at this point. He has drums, and that's fine, I guess, but Storm Spirit, DK, they're going to have to do all the heavy lifting, and I guess try to buy this Phantom Lancer a lot of space and time, but I don't know if they can afford that much space and time. They need a lot of it.
they need an infinite amount of it, in all honesty. I mean, I don't exactly understand why the Phantom Lancer was farming that far forward with no teammates anywhere nearby to help if he gets jumped. Speaking of teammates nearby, there are none of them for this Storm Spirit. He is probably very dead. Stun lands, he does have that invis though, and there is no detection.
Yeah, why would there be? Chi-Chi still going to, Chi-Run rather, going to burn a little bit. Piao going to jump very far away, sees everyone coming as well. Yui still wants to fight this. Is there detection on the other end? Because there's ShadowBlade here for the Spirit Breaker. Going to charge through too, looking for the Nether Strike, however, gets stunned by the Echo Slam. Dragon Tail's there as well, and he's going to get obliterated. The rest of the team coming in. A little bit too late to save their allies, but maybe to get a couple of kills in return. It's Lina on the run, gets Fissure blocked off. Also going to catch Chi-Run, put him in a corner. Sox is there with the BKB, presenting a pretty tanky front, but not one that does a lot of damage. He's going to straight TP out, looking for the telekinesis, can't fight it in time. Shaker, chains, not enough mana. It's going to be an even 1-1. However, Spirit Breaker died in exchange for the Lina. That's a big trade for TerrorBlade, and it's a messy situation for Newbee to be in. I don't know why Spirit Breaker went in like that. Maybe he just didn't expect that many heroes to be there.
Well, for the Spirit Breaker, I don't think he saw the heroes in the side jungle. I can understand that. However, if the Dazzle was a few seconds sooner, that would have been a kill, or at least a save on the Spirit Breaker and probably a few more kills. The thing that the Spirit Breaker was thinking, maybe he was getting a bit overconfident. You consider the sort of control Newbee have on this game. They're cracking at a tier 2 with pretty much no defense coming from TerrorBlade right now. Sure, fishes are going to fly. Counter fishes will fly from the Rubik. There is no Echo Slam right now, so there's no real threat of a big cataclysmic team fight. So it's a free tower for Newbee, and that was a very major tower considering that is the nearest tower that they can TP to Roche for. So Roche now becomes infinitely easier for the Newbee lineup as well. TerrorBlade are falling behind in map control, in farm, in gold.
And relevant items.
And relevant items. Levels as well. All of it. They're just falling behind.
Bloodstone on Storm Spirit, BKB on DK, and Blink Dagger on Shaker, which for 22 minutes, that's pretty good, like in all honesty, but it's not going to help them right now, because right now they need to be in the Roche pit, but they're a little bit too far away, and well, they do have Medallion Newbee, and they're just going to work down this Roshan slowly but surely. TerrorBlade are smoked up and incoming. Leshrac Illusion maybe going to put Newbee in a false sense of security, but it doesn't even matter because Aegis already claimed by the Lesh. He's got to charge out from the Spirit Breaker, so he's free and clear. I guess Chi-Chi does grab a top lane tower in the meantime, which is nice, but still, it's Aegis claimed for free from Newbee. TerrorBlade, they get a tower in exchange, which I guess is the best thing they could have hoped for.
Yeah, I suppose that equalizes the gold from the Roshan, but the Aegis is still going to be quite a factor, in all honesty. And I look at the net worth, I just see the Ember and the Lesh. And we both know Ember in this patch doesn't really work, but good God, this Ember has just decimated this game.
I believe in Ember Spirit in this patch, dude. I believe it. Not in this game still. I think he's not the right hero for this game, but he had a rough early game, died a lot, but 23 minutes, and you look at his end results, he got the phase boots, he has the drums, and he has the battle fury. Really, what more can you want?
A crit, maybe, but for the time in the game, he is on par. Completely. The thing is, he shouldn't be. Just with the current meta, the Ember shouldn't be able to get anywhere near as much as this. I mean, it's just so stun-centric, so fight-centric.
This is like the 4th or 5th time this has happened. Echo Slam is even going to be used. Did nothing. Melody Lovers has more than enough mana to get his team back up to full, and they have a ShadowBlade and Spirit Breaker on the hunt. They see Chi-Chi, and he's going to get Nether Struck. He's going to get 70%ed as well as charged. Where's the help here, though? Well, doesn't look like he needs that much. Spirit Breaker is essentially going to solo kill the Phantom Lancer with a little bit of help from Piao and Melody Lovers, but that's a free 3 kill for Newbee. And with Leshrac sitting in the mid lane, still packing that Aegis, this is a tier 2 tower push just waiting to happen.
Yeah, it is, and there's nothing that TerrorBlade can do to stop this. What can they do? Commit a ball lightning? That's not going to help. They're going to just have to sack this tower. Do they even have a glyph? No, they don't.
I don't know why they don't have a glyph.
This is tier 3, effectively, at this rate.
Yeah, tier 3 at least being pushed. Shaker does not have a Blink Echo Slam. He got a 3-man off, but no follow-up there. SC is taking a lot of damage right now, but that's what the Aegis for. That's what the Grave's for. Is he really going to get away from this one? Tower shot.
Yeah.
Ball lightning in. They really want to get this kill. Ball lightning out, however. And now the Storm Spirit has no more mana, so he's going to have to back off right now. SC still has that Aegis. He's going to get healed up back to full, so Essentially, that's one life of Leshrac being used without even costing anything. Looks like Newbee will fall back, make the defensive decision. Why go high ground when we can go for an easy tier 2 up on the top lane, and I don't think TB will be able to defend that at all.
TerrorBlade won't be able to. I mean, if the rotations come from Newbee to that top lane, that's going to be an easy tier 2, maybe into a tier 3 there. If they push the middle lane and get a kill on those supports again, the same scenario happens. The only way this works in TerrorBlade's favor is if they manage to either 5-man smoke gank or 5-man defend with a good Echo into Fisher combo and just throw everything at Newbee and hope it kills the Leshrac. Because if that Leshrac is still standing, or that Ember Spirit is still standing, after all of those spells are thrown, they're not going to survive. As Chi-Chi, well, no, he's pretty much dead. He gets caught out of position again.
If you're a Phantom Lancer and you're far behind, you do have to make these kind of greedy plays to get farm, but it's greedy plays up against a super mobile squad of Ember Spirit and Spirit Breaker, so you're going to get punished 9 times out of 10. I think TerrorBlade, they do stand a chance at winning a fight if you, as you said, land a decent Echo Slam. Assassinate the Dazzle, most important, since he's still relatively fragile, and if with no Grave, Newbee's fighting potential drops significantly. The question is, can that happen? Echo Slam only onto Piao right now. Murray's going to jump right in, force that forward, in fact. He's going to get pulled right back in. That's a quick 2-kill for TerrorBlade. I think Rubik force-staffed himself into the middle of that. He thought he stole Echo Slam, but it turns out he didn't steal anything. So it's just going to be Ember Spirit and Rubik to fall for free. That is Echo Slam down the tubes, however. And Echo Slam is TerrorBlade's most important defensive tool.
Yes, it is. And I suppose you still got the threat of someone like the Leshrac and the Spirit Breaker just getting a quick pick right now. It's very dangerous territory. Sure, with the Ember Spirit and the Rubik off the map, it's a lot less likely that we'll see a brawl or a fight, but this aggression coming out of Newbee, I wouldn't put it past them, considering I look at the Leshrac, he's in the enemy jungle, with no wards, with multiple heroes being off the map, and he's not caring a damn about it.
His Aegis is also very close to being timed out, so SC playing things a little bit fast and loose. I guess he knows that if he gets jumped, Spirit Breaker can come and help, maybe in time, but that aggressive farm really paid off. He wasn't punished, and now he has a BKB, and now TerrorBlade just can't burst him down. Like, they don't have an Aghanim Scepter on Lina, nowhere close to it, and the majority of their threats come from magical damage. It should come from physical at this point, because they have a Phantom Lancer, DK, and Storm on their team, but they just don't have enough right clicks to effectively deal with this Leshrac. The best case scenario now for TB is get the initiation onto Newbee, get on top of this Leshrac and Dazzle, take them out, and then, you know, kill everyone off as they're running away. But that's a lot to ask for at this stage, especially with SE grabbing an Invis rune. He's on the hunt. Not going to find the Storm Spear, unfortunately. Going to run straight past him. Going to rejoin towards the mid lane and look for the DK instead. This is a guy with the BKB. He's being charged. BKB's at 9 seconds. And SC is going to go to the back line instead, go for the Lina. However, oh, he's spotted. BKB gets popped immediately. She uses herself, but that's not the correct decision because that's going to set up for the Split Earth. Lightning going to bounce over to Sox as well. They see the Shaker in the woods. Fissure going to be thrown. They're going to actually leave Sox alone. No, Yui wants to go in on there. 17%, not going to happen just yet. Eul Scepter is there to stall him out in his retreat, but no follow-up afterwards. Newbee instead have another charge target. It's going to be that Shaker. Has no Fissure just yet. He's going to get stunned up once. Chi-Chi also going to get lift up and stun the Earthshaker again. Doppelgang out for Chi-Chi. Can he actually get away from this one? Doppelganger stolen, not going to be relevant at all, but Chi-Chi's on the run by himself. He's going to drop. It's the same exact 3 kills we saw earlier, and Newbee spend a BKB charge, and that's it. Now they can go for a high ground push again.
There's just nothing really stopping Newbee at this point. They've got all of the items they could possibly want. They've got Blink Force on Rubik. They've got what is soon to be a BKB on the Spirit Breaker. In fact, I believe that's actually flying out to him right this second. Yes, it is. He's got a full BKB on his way out. He's the Dazzle Medallion. That's it. That's all he needs. GG. He could go for a Solar Crest. On the Ember Spirit, crit cleave. We already spoke about this. This just feels like an inevitability at this point, unless they hit the perfect Echo Slam combination.
No pressure, Earthshaker. No pressure whatsoever. Gotta land that onto Melee Lover as well. At least take care of this Dazzle. Have someone lock down the Dazzle in some way, shape, or form. But they're on a pretty quick timer now that Leshrac is starting to knock on the high ground. With the Medallion there, Leshrac can tank quite a few tower shots and be okay with it. Now that all of TerrorBlade are alive once again, Newbee may want to fall back, get enough farm, and then go for this again after having cleared out another Roshan. Or they can just try their luck. I think probably falling back is the better decision right now, but can't really blame him just for trying to go and end this game right now, since it is them pretty far ahead. They have chains gonna land on Chi-Chi and Socks right now. Lightning gonna bounce through everyone. Yule Scepter's gonna land onto SC right now. He gets 4-staffed out though. Chain stun is pretty decent, but he has a grave and he will walk away from that one. Big ball ending in from Chiren. Not gonna do that much damage, however. SC still dropping really, really low. It looks like Yule Scepter, he'll stay alive for a little while longer as Piao's doing his damage in the backlines with that cleave, but now he's gonna get pulled in by the Ember Spirit. He's gonna drop first. Mur's gonna return a fissure, it seems, but that's not gonna do that much. He's gonna drop as well. Newbee, they're just scattered and on the run. Melody Lover's gonna try TP out. He'll get Echo Slammed. He's gonna die in the retreat as well. Douyu, can he TP out? He will, as will the Leshrac, but TB get a 3-kill, and Newbee, I think they pushed their luck. I think they just should have backed off.
Yeah, they horrifically overcommitted to that fight. That honestly surprised me that it turned around that heavily, but now, well, the amount of gold they just got, what is going to be coming their way? Yasha onto Chi-Chi, it seems. On the Storm Spirit, what do we have coming up for him? He's got his BKB, he's got his Bloodstone. Do you honestly think we're going to see a Scythe of Ice? I'd hope to see a Scythe of Ice. But do you think he can get it in time?
Yeah, probably. At least, like, start building toward it. I think it's either that, it's either going to be a Scythe of Ice or Shiva's, and either way, you need a Mystic Staff, so you might as well, like, try to go for one of those items. TB have quite a few nice items. Jump in, actually, onto Mur, trying to force staff out, but gets pulled back mid-force. And charge out, getting attacked from Chiron from the south. Douyu has his BKB up, another strike on Chiron, as well as SC's damage. Chiron gonna get hit with a 17%. Bash is there. They'll kill off him, and they'll kill off the Phantom Lancer as well, just with Leshrak's AoE damage. Now Piao on the run, in. He's gonna have an Ember Spirits to jump to. Charge gonna connect on the Shaker. He has no TP, therefore no hope. And just like how Newbee got cleaned up, it's gonna be TB's turn to get cleaned up, because once again, for the 10th time, a team overextends and gets sufficiently punished.
Yeah, this game, when you get a good win on a fight, you need to be disciplined. You don't overcommit, and if you do, like that, you lose your cores, you'll lose all of your heroes if you're unlucky. It's just a case of disciplining.
It seems like the game is just favoring Newbee as well. Like, TB, they made that push in, and they had no option of going for Roshan. Newbee make that fight happen. They think about pushing him, but realize, hey, Roshan is up, and it literally just respawned. So it's a free Aegis again. Should be going towards Piao, though. Putting it onto this Leshrac, wouldn't blame him for that either. It's going to be the Ember Spirit to have that double life now. He has his completed Daedalus. This dude does a lot of damage. TB still have a lot of stuns, so if they get into the Newbee side before BKBs go up, or before they're really ready to fight, then yeah, TB have a chance, but this is getting a little bit more bleak after that Aegis has been grabbed. Especially if Chi-Chi shows his face up on top lane, he's simply going to die to a charge combo.
I'm actually lagging again now, so...
Alright, well, they see Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi's going to try to drum out, has no travels, he's going to run right into a whole mess of heroes right now. Chained to the floor, lifted up as well. Nothing stolen just yet, but they will take down the Phantom Lancer in the blink of an eye. And Spirit Breaker, unfortunately, didn't even arrive to that fight, so couldn't even get his hands dirty in that one. He's instead going to decide to go towards Chiren. And this charge probably not going to land. Okay, it is going to land because he was invisible. Nether Strike, though, not going to be committed. Storm Spirit wants to turn around and go for Douyu. It's a bad idea. Storm Spirit doesn't actually have that much damage. He'll burn a lot of his mana to get out of there, but suddenly chained to the floor. Has to BKB charge if he wants to get out of here. Piao, though, gets hit with the Fissure. Dragon Slave as well as Laguna Blade. He's still fine, though, with the Grave, with the Aegis. He's more than okay to continue this fight, especially with Lina forcing Yule Scepter herself. She's going to get dropped on the way down. That's a 2-kill for Newbee. Piao is suddenly back up to full HP given the heal power of this Dazzle and the Urn charge from the Spirit Breaker. And now the tier 3 is going to be pushed once again. Searing Chain's going to land on the DK. Storm Spirit, Earthshaker, DK. These are all the heroes that TB really need to make a defense, in theory. But will it actually work out? Ball ending in, ball ending out. They lift up on a Sock. Another strike there as well. Actually canceled by the Fissure. Sock's now going to get his BKB up, but Piao's there with the Daedalus, just doing so much damage right now. Shaker jumps in, but realizes everyone's BKB'd, so he's going to hold on to his Echo Slam, only gets it onto 1. And now they're going to try to charge forward for the Storm Spirit. Gets back to the base safely. Phantom Lancer does respawn. Newbee maybe chasing a little bit too far into the enemy base. Got to go for these tier 4s, or tier 3s rather. Shiva's Guard gets delivered to SC halfway through this fight. Going to be another asset for him, and TB at this point just can't easily go for this Leshrac. Mur's going to jump forward with an LSA, prepped and ready. He could chain stun a single person for a very long time just by himself. Big ball ending in towards the backlines, back out from Chiron actually. It's going to be Piao to get stunned up first of all, but Chi-Chi taking a lot of damage, has to go back to the fountain, gets burned down however by the Ember Spirit and Leshrac combo. Now they're onto this Lina, they'll take her down as well as catch a stun onto Socks. It's not going to be any follow-up towards this DK, but the Raxes are going to fall. Charge in towards DK. Gets shoved into his Ancient, but he's going to drop anyway. Here comes Chiren once again, this time with the BKB pop, trying to do what he can, but he doesn't have any allies that are relevant right now. He's going to be forced to fall back into his fountain. He doesn't die, but his Raxes do, and so do all of his teammates. Newbee get away with tier 3s and Raxes and 0 casualties, not even the Aegis. And now they're going to go for top lane. It's round 2. And TB still have no Echo Slam. They have a Storm Spirit with a lot of mana. He could ball landing in and do some TP shenanigans. Trying to go for this Rubik in the backlines. Fails to do so. Even with no Grave there from the Dazzle. Rubik now a little bit banged up, but again, should be healed up back to full. There are no buybacks on the TP side. Actually, no, there is on DK, but if he buys back, so what? Aegis is still on the Ember Spirit. This is 2 clean Raxes. 36 minutes in. Big ball landing in once again from Chiren. This time he doesn't have any mana to ball landing out. He'll TP out instead, but that's 2 Raxes taken very easily. And TB, they will have everyone up to fighting potential soon, but by that time they might be facing down Mega Creeps. I don't know if Newbee can go quite fast enough. They're going to try to go for it, because you might as well. That's range racks down, that's melee racks down, that's Megas. And TB now have 5 heroes alive, but it's irrelevant. They can't defend against Megas and all of Newbee's heroes. Chichi gonna get charged in, does dodge it, but he's still taking Pulse Nova damage. He's gonna die to something from the Listrak. Probably, no, he slips into the fountain, barely. It sucks to be in the most trouble right now. BKB is up, and there's so much physical damage coming out from the Spirit Breaker and the Ember Spirit both. He gets hit with another Sleight of Fist. He'll get charged and brought down. In the meantime, Chiren trying to go for the Rubik, but he ends up stealing the ball and gets out of there free and clear. And even with everyone from TB on the hunt for this Rubik, they can't quite find him. And now the cores from Newbee rather, gonna turn around, try to save Melody Lovers. Eul's Scepter, Melody Lovers gonna survive for a little while longer. Split Earth, not gonna connect on a Chiren. He doesn't have any more mana, however, he's gonna have to commit suicide. Melody Lovers survives. So many kills from Newbee, like upwards of 10, and they have 0 casualties so far. This game is so over.
Radiant's middle tower
and it is.
attack.
And there's the GG call. I can at least see the chat. It sounds like one hell of a fight that I missed.
Well, it wasn't really a fight, because fight implies both sides have a shot.
Slaughter, massacre,
Yeah,
carnage.
it was closer to a slaughter.
Hopefully the next time I can actually see the fight.
Yeah, it's a messy situation for TerrorBlade. That was not a glorious way to go out. They're just throwing bodies into Newbee, and Newbee just acting as that meat grinder. Great plays from Melody Lovers on the Dazzle and TB. With the DK Storm Spirit Phantom Lancer combo as 3 cores, it could maybe work, but I think just getting a safer offlane than the Phantom Lancer, who did nothing in this entire game, getting a, kind of a more dedicated strategy for TB, a little bit preferable. But guys, this is a best of 2, so Newbee have one more game before they actually can declare it a win. Right now, best or worst that could happen to them is a tie, but for right now, we're gonna wait for a little bit and go right into that second game. I'm Mikelorus. I've been joined by Blakadder, and we'll both be right back for Game 2 between Newbee and TerrorBlade from the Douyu Cup. Don't go anywhere, guys.